Okay, excellent dudes. Here we are, last set to show off. We've got here the the Pestilence Master's Shroud, which is misnomered as the melee set for its placeholder. Clearly not the case. And we're gonna run up here real quick because I forgot to do that for you guys. This set has this helm that goes with it. I've got it dyed a little darker. Normally it is this color all the way through, except for obviously this little white area here. Alright, now at first I hated this set. I hated it, and I thought it sucked. Didn't like it at all. Thought it was just misnamed altogether. The theme didn't fit the way it looked. And then I thought about it. Plague Doctors worked around corpses quite a bit. So if you don't know already, which I actually think a lot of my friends already do, but this isn't just for the people that I normally speak to. Plague Doctors, within that beak and their mask, there were flower petals that helped mask the odor of decaying, diseased corpses that they were around quite a bit, and probably from the smell of the poor in general, as only the rich really bathed frequently, and frequently is a relative term. People just did not smell very good back then, especially when they were dying all over the place. So something important to note about the set is that the 2 set bonus, each time you consume a corpse, and this is what it doesn't say, every single corpse on screen fires a corpse lance. And corpse lance itself, if you're using corpse lance on its own, fires automatically 1 per corpse. It was definitely something I needed to test out, and did, on whether or not that was just the way it worked, because before this I was using a different rune. I was using Blood Lance, which fires an extra lance from yourself every time you cast it. So I was getting 1 additional lance per cast, and that lance was dealing an additional 300% weapon damage. With all the lances, with all the stuff going on the screen, I'm not entirely sure if they're all dealing that additional 300%. I don't know what's going on there. But at the very least, they're dealing 900% weapon damage to the target in general. I kind of feel like if you're giving up health at all, that extra corpse lance should be dealing just a little bit more. And that health goes fast. Let me tell you what, it goes fast. When you're casting this, because it's really easy to spam. So that 5%, if you've got the max number of corpses on screen and you're taking damage at the same time, your health just moves. So I've changed it up to Brittle Touch, which is increasing their crit chance each time they're hit with a corpse lance. I don't know how this is gonna stack with my set bonuses. I don't know how any of these would stack with my set bonuses. I don't know if Ricochet is gonna make it ricochet to more targets. This is something that does require a little more testing on my part. So the thing is that with this 2-set bonus, it doesn't matter what you're using here. You're consuming a corpse with your corpse skills. So you're getting that additional lance for each corpse on the screen. And at first I was just running Devour when I first started playing this, and I decided to start running Blood Lance. Blood Lance makes you a little too squishy. You gotta stack that life per second. And there is somebody, a streamer, that is using, if not Blood Lance, Blood Spear. They might be using that one. But they have, I gotta check out their page. I gotta check Riker again to find out who exactly this person was. I think it was Desolus. I'm not sure. So I'll check that out, find out what he's running, figure out what he's doing, how heavily he's stacking the life regen. However he's doing that, I don't know if he's running that life per hit, life per kill. Probably running either more life per second or life per hit. That would make more sense to me. But I digress. Now, your 4-set bonus for the Pestilence Master Shroud or the Bone Spear set. This is each enemy hit by Bone Spear reduces your damage taken by 2% up to a maximum of 50%, and it lasts for 15 seconds. Now, great if you're up against a lot of enemies and you get the first hit in, because Bone Spear pierces. The only one that doesn't in its arsenal is Shatter. Shatter instead detonates and creates, area damage. So then, if you get hit before that, you're squishy. You're squishy as hell. Or if it's one enemy you're fighting, you're squishy as hell. And that's ridiculous.
Someone like you couldn't possibly understand.
Their interactions. Somebody put some thought into what would happen if they put these guys together in town. And I commend those devs and writers for actually thinking about these two NPCs that they have thrown together through circumstance and how they would interact with each other. I get a real kick out of the Scoundrel and Templar's interactions. Anyway, your 6-set bonus. Each corpse you consume grants you an empowered Bone Spear charge that increases the damage of your next Bone Spear by 100%. I do believe this maxes out at 25 stacks. Pretty easy to get back because you're really consuming a lot of corpses. So, that being said, we got all this stuff going on here. I don't think I've really edited any of my current armor set. So yeah, I haven't taken this over to the Enchantress up here and done anything with it really. so it could stand to get some buffs here and there. Some of it I don't think I really wanted to, like this one. I suppose I could try to get more int out of the deal. Try and cap up closer to 750. But otherwise, I like that cooldown reduction. It may be the lowest they're going to give me for the cooldown and hit chance, but I like having that. Could probably do with a lot more area damage, um, especially being that I'm piercing through all those enemies. My gear is suboptimal with every single set I've got right now. Suboptimal. So let's skip over to the abilities now. I'm currently using Path of Bones for bone spikes. Unleash a line of bone spikes from the ground, dealing 100% weapon damage. Damage is increased by up to 100% for those further away. So at bone spikes, I'm gonna say at its farthest reaching point, it is the full 100%. I am not entirely sure where that 100% kicks in. Because if you see that, it keeps going off screen. Like, it goes quite a ways. Like, I'm not entirely sure when it ends. The moment I'm hitting walls and shit. It is known to go through walls. I don't know if they fixed that or not. No, it's still going through shit. Yeah, look at that. It's heading off into the distance. If you can see that, I can see where it's kicking up dust right about in there. It's kicking up dust all in there. Alright, so then next I'm using Metabolize again. Bone Spirit Crystallization, getting a little extra crit chance. No, this is attack speed, which I guess can translate to extra crit chance if you're hitting more often. So each enemy has their attack speed reduced by 20%, and your attack speed is increased by 3% for 3 seconds, stacking up to 10 times. 3 seconds isn't a lot, and I'd like to see that raised a little bit. Maybe bring it up to 5 or even 10 seconds. But 10 seconds could be pushing it, because that ends up with, having their attack speed reduced up to 100% for 3 seconds. Or, if we increased it to 10, that'd be 10 seconds. But basically, they're not just like lowering their attack speed. Each hit gets them closer to being frozen and getting that frozen status effect. And there are definitely items that can buff this. Like, instead of using Leoric's Crown to help with the cooldown on Land of the Dead, I could be using, I'm not sure if I put it in my cube. I did not.
You did not think it was possible. I did not. Now I know that no one is safe from corruption.
Yeah. I'm actually really interested to see how the Templar interacts with the Necromancer once it comes out, because I don't think we'll be able to test story mode, and I don't think they'll give us a lot of that dialogue during beta. But eventually, we're going to be able to see him interact with the Templar, the Scoundrel, and the Enchantress. the Enchantress, not to be confused with Miriam, your artisan enchantress. What are you even wielding? Follower cannot die. Yeah, you'd think I'd be like throwing a Unity on there and pushing them higher rifts, but I'm using Focus and Restraint with all these builds currently to push that little bit of extra damage out. And with this build, I do try to go into the Oculus power areas a little bit more. I try to use that a little bit more heavily. Both of us are using Rakhov's Glass of Life only because I like to stack my followers with damage. Now, this is quite the opposite of what a lot of people do. They like to, do other shit. My follower might do a little more damage than I do. Like, if I wasn't, like, gaining the benefit of all these set pieces, my follower would probably hit harder than I do. That's sad. And it seems that more people use the Templar regardless of their class. I use the Enchantress strictly because I'm finding intelligence-based items. So I might as well grab those and throw them on my Enchantress. Whatever. Where was I? Probably at Corpse Lance, which I've already gone over with you, I think. Just increasing.
How do you feel about our undertaking? Very dangerous.
So Corpse Lance is Brittle Touch. It does 900% damage right out of the gate, but then, which I think actually got raised a little bit from a previous patch. But enemies become brittle, increasing their chance to crit by 5%. That's pretty great. I got my Ice Golem. Increased their chance to be critted by 10% for 10 seconds. And then I'm using Land of the Dead, which is poison, going to deal up to 10,000% weapon damage to enemies during that time. But the big thing, the kicker, all corpse skills can be used at will for 10 seconds. It doesn't say there, but it's for free. As long as that's going on, you've got unlimited corpses. It's great. The only thing it doesn't pair with is Life from Death. So let's see if I can find that item. Frostburn, here we go. Throw a Ring of Royal Grandeur over here. A Frostburn there. And an Ice Blink in one of these. And this would make for a pretty damn dangerous recipe. So cold skills have a 20% chance increased damage and have a 50% chance to freeze enemies, and then pair that with the Ice Blink. Your cold skills now apply chill effects, and your chill effects now slow enemy movement by an additional 15%. Enemies when you hit rank 25, you get this little tidbit here. Enemies you chill have a 10% increased chance to be critically hit. So stack your crit damage there, boys, because we're going for bear. Now, something else I definitely wanted to touch on. Mix that with the Bane of Trapped, which I'm not currently using, but if I was, we'd probably we'll boost something I will do in a future video is I'm going to boost my Ice Blink. I'm going to boost up my other gems too, if possible, but I'm going to pair those two. I'm going to cube a Frostburn, which I may or may not have sitting around here somewhere, if not in the inventory of one of my other characters. Here's one. I can cube that, you know. We'll take a look at that build and see how much damage I'm really doing with all of that increased crit chance. And do everything I can to just stack crit damage and crit chance. Just make a fucking assassin.
He was of your order, yet he...
I think I've rambled on enough now. Let us go in and see what we got.
Many Nephilim have stood where you are now, but few succeeded in overcoming the trials.
Some of them. I do not like the marker that says where you're aiming. I know where I clicked. I know who's getting the brunt of it. I know who's getting hit first. Everybody. Okay, I'm using this. I'm using my Land of the Dead, and I am beating the shit out of people now. Apparently not. Most of my other builds are fairly melee. I gotta stay out of the fucking confrontation now, and I'm not used to that anymore.
I need aid. Not enough health.
Not enough health. Fuck you. And of course I'm lagging too much to be able to use my health potions. Look at my latency down here. I'm in the red.
Weakness consumes you.
See, I have been getting my stacks there with Bone Spear, so my Bone Spear is doing more damage now. Okay, and it looks like whatever rune I have applied is the one that's predominantly smacking these dickheads around. This is one of the harder ones to use. I'm not doing so well at the moment. But the other day when I was testing it, I think I was on a lower difficulty actually. Yeah, I was. Now we'll get a better look at its power. I must have rolled really low on this one. RNG was probably not on my side. Which, you know, there is no RNGs for me. I don't get to, you know, I'm never saved by RNGs. And for those of you who don't know, that's random number generation, RNG. Let's check this out. What the hell was that? Oh, that was Plague Lands activated. Am I getting those stacks? Yeah. I'm getting those stacks. Okay, I'm at 26 stacks, so I'm not entirely sure where it caps anymore. I'm starting to get tired. Is that a rubber band in there? As you can tell, nothing really stops the bone spikes. It just kinda goes. It goes wherever the hell it wants to.
I'm afraid not.
I am getting seriously tired. Let's power through this as quickly as possible. I'll have to go and drink some coffee, and then I will come back after a brief reprise and show you challenge rifts. Because fucking challenge rifts. Oh, motherfuckers, kite back to me. It's getting a little more anal about that. No, it's not. I'm just lagging.
That is not possible.
Oofda. Son of a bitch. That was quite a bit of lag.
Give it more time.
The lag. And I would try to say the lag is from me recording this, but it's not. In between videos, I was still in the red there.
Decay and rot.
What? That is a bandit party. Oh my god. Bandit party. Bandit party. Eat all the dicks. Okay. Did any of them get away? An odious collector escaped. But otherwise, I killed Simon. Cups of gems. The dust.
My bag is full.
Fuck that. Yeah, them gems take up some fucking room. La da 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 da. All right.
I am returning to town.
Well, that was useful. God, I gotta go through and clean this shit out more. My puzzle ring collection. Waiting on them legendaries to start dropping. And then I'll start throwing those in my cube and opening up portals to the vault. And just I'm gonna throw one of those in there just for now. Holding on to that for a screenshot later. Send Dainty. I'm sure Dainty would love to know, is the kind of sort of the face of Blizzard's, at least Diablo's section, I think. Not entirely sure. But she's kind of their marketing rep. She is all the PR. If somebody, you know, says something stupid, it's her job to clean up after them. Which, from what I've seen of people like Nineball, I think Nineball is one of the devs. She's probably got her work cut out for her. I don't know how they get anything done. It seems like they just mess around all day. But I mean, hey, it's their job to mess around all day. They're playing video games, man.
All must serve the cycle.
I would like to kill things just a little faster. So that I can end this video. And drink coffee.
Decay
I like
and
coffee.
rot. Decay and rot.
Yeah, okay, that is still flying. For a second I wasn't sure. If you were noticing there, sometimes it didn't look like it was firing out of every single corpse. I'm no longer sure if it's intentional, if it's supposed to fire from every single corpse. Really hoping it is. Because otherwise this set would be so underpowered. And it's already running a little underpowered. But the way it runs is actually pretty smooth. It's pretty fun, in my opinion. Like, I have not seen enough, like, truly ranged builds that are viable in this game. Most of them are fairly upfront and personal, and you gotta get right up in there. I mean, unless you're a demon hunter, in which case there are plenty of squishy, stay out of there, fire at a range build. But, as far as everybody else goes, you know, between Witch Doctor with fire bats and chickens,
The Rift Guardian has found
you're up in there. And then, from what I've seen of the wizard builds, you're kind of up in there.
My bag is full.
That's right. Oh.
I am
Okay.
overburdened. I am overburdened.
Yes,
I
I
am
know.
returning to town.
I'm full up on blood shards at my capacity. Don't close that yet. No, I gotta talk to this bitch here. For those of
Such a
you
brave
who
soul.
don't know,
Fate
Kadala
smiles on you today.
from Diablo 2, her father is called Geed. Yes, this is Geed's daughter, and it shows.
That's too bad. Don't forget, luck
There is
always
no room.
changes.
Just keep my intuitive hammer there. Pick blood shards up. Back to town.
Returning to town.
Alright, so that was this one. I might have again, and so this one might not get posted, but if it does, just in case. Wanted to know what you guys thought of this particular build. Not build, sorry, set. More so, what its set bonuses do. Do you think it needs some revamping? Do you think it needs to fit its name better and actually do more of the Necromancer's blight damage, which is its version of poison? Blight will is not a damage over time. They wanted to make it very different than the Witch Doctor, so blight abilities is not poison, not really. It counts as poison for the Ring of Royal Grandeur, but they wanted to call it blight to make it different. Blight is usually debuffing the enemy in some way, quote unquote usually. See, Land of the Dead is not. Plague Lands is not debuffing the enemy. But Bone Pillars is not either. Cursed Scythe is a blight ability, and it's got a 15% chance to randomly curse your enemy. This one increases your max damage dealt, stacking up to 10 times, whatever. Blighted Marrow, damage is increased by 15% for each enemy the Bone Spear passes through. Skeletal Mage's Contamination isn't really debuffing, but it's got an interesting thing going on there, which we can get into later if I haven't already. Unstable Compound, what you're really looking at here for Blight is Blight Nova, which leaves a lingering patch of blight on the ground, slowing enemies by 60% and causing them to deal 15% less damage for 1 second. And you'll see a lot of that with blight abilities. Less damage here, less damage there, whatever.
did not mention what a bore you can be.
No, I'm sure he didn't. But yes, that is sort of what's going on if my golem isn't having a fucking seizure.
The blood
Ah.
runs true within you.
Alright, well, yeah, let me know, as you saw, in order to really make any progress very quickly, I had to drop it down to Torment 3. Torment 5 probably would have sufficed, but I'm just too damn tired, to keep moving steadily. I can't even guarantee that I didn't fall asleep, so I might have to redo this video. Stay excellent, dudes. I'll be back after some coffee. And after I check over this video to see if it's even salvageable.